Michael from Cold Weather Bats here, joined by Coach Mageria from Rochester as part of our Game of the Week coverage. After two tough games against rival Rochester Adams, Game 3 is coming up fast tomorrow, and we're checking in to hear how the team is preparing for the finale. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes here with us.
Yeah, definitely. No, we're excited for tomorrow. I mean, the first two games didn't work out in our favor, but I think tomorrow we'll be able to be a little bit better matched against them too. We like our pitching matchup against them too. And I think we'll get our guys ready to go today. So then that way we can go out there and hopefully turn things around.
Coach, coming off your 2024 postseason where you did beat Rochester Adams in the district finals and took out Anchor Bay in a great 9-inning game, how has that success carried over into really this season's mentality?
I just think it builds confidence. You know, when we look at last year, we knew we were talented and we knew we had the type of team that could put together a good run at the end of the year. Being able to do it, it stays in the back of these guys' minds. And so that kind of helps us when you're in a situation right now, like after losing two games against your rival, we know we can still beat them. I mean, we've got the same squad that beat them last year, and they have pretty much the same squad as well. Our guys aren't going to go out there tomorrow and just lay down thinking that we can't compete, because we know that we can. We've done it before. So, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but at least our guys, they have that confidence, and it carries through, in this series and probably through the rest of the season as well.
As you begin league play and look ahead eventually to the postseason, what is the biggest key for this group to really make a run similar or better to what happened in 2024?
I just think we have to keep getting a little bit better on the little things. I think the talent's there, and I think the talent has improved from last year. I mean, there's still a few positions that we're trying to figure out right now, but I think it's for every player. They just have to continue to grow. So then that way, some of those early mistakes that you make at the beginning of the season, they just don't happen. By the end of the year, maybe now all that talent shines a little bit more, and those mistakes that have kind of hindered us in a few games, we can get rid of those.
So when you look at how your team competes as a whole, what do you look for as a coach to be the identity of your team every time that they're going to take the field?
Well, we know that we've got a great defense. And so that's the thing, is that skill all the way around the field. Our defense is probably one of the strongest that we've ever had here. So we're really looking for our pitchers to be able to go out there and keep us in ball games and pitch to contact. If that happens, we're always in a good spot. I mean, I think one of our identities is that we've got some pop offensively. Right through top to bottom of the order, we've got guys that can find their way on base, guys that can run the bases a little bit. So, really, I think a lot of those things kind of come in. That defense that we have, the offense that we have, we just need that pitching to carry us through.
And then for you as a coach, what kind of tone do you look to set in the dugout as a coach, whether it's a fiery motivator, calm and steady, or really somewhere in between?
I think it has to be in between. I mean, a lot of the time the situation dictates what's going on. I mean, there's going to be those times where every once in a while you do have to get fired up and you kind of need to get on a guy. But then there's going to be those times where, after making a couple of mistakes out there on the field, the guys come in and it has to be kind of settle them down and, hey, we made some mistakes. You can't change what happened, but we just need to get back to what we do best and find a way to keep ourselves in that ball game. So I think, it's a good combination that you have to have as a coach.
So you mentioned that you have a lot of the similar players that you had for last year, 2024, in 2025. With that said, what do you look for in a player besides just the talent? What traits really make someone a Rochester baseball guy in your eye?
Really, we're looking for that leadership. That's something that we preach a lot, and we want these guys to be leaders on and off the field. And then just make sure that everything that you're doing is with the goal of getting better, whether we're doing something, very small in practice, whether we're doing something in a game, just take advantage of those opportunities, do the little things right, and just keep getting better and lead by example. So you set the tone for everybody in the program.
Last one I really have for you here is really as an overall whole, what is your goal and outlook for your team here in 2025, especially with how the year ended for you guys in 2024?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is always to win the league and then to be able to win districts and give ourselves an opportunity at a good postseason run. I know the 2 games that we dropped earlier this week, it makes things a little bit tougher in our league, but we have the ability to be right up there to the very end like we were last year. And then just getting into districts, we think that we have the type of team that can compete in districts and have an opportunity to win. And if we do, who knows where we can go? Because I think that, everything lines up for us to be able to get back to where we were last year. Nobody's going to lay down and just let us get there, but we definitely have the talent. We've got the personnel to be able to do it. So that's always our expectation, is to find a way back and hopefully get even a little bit further.
Coach, I appreciate your time. I know this week has been quite cold. I know we just talked about a little bit earlier that there's been only a handful of times your team has been able to get out on the field and actually have a practice that's not been on a gym floor indoors. So I hope that the weather, fingers crossed, turns. And for everyone's sake, I think the last check, it looks like it's going to be in the 60s potentially tomorrow. So hopefully the weather does turn here. And best of luck in game 3 and throughout the remainder of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. Thanks again for the coverage.